Hi guys, and a very warm welcome back to the channel. It's a sunny Sunday here in southern Spain, 8th of December, and officially a holiday which will roll over till tomorrow. The 6th and the 8th are national holidays here in Spain, so we get a 4-day weekend this week, Friday being a bank holiday, and because the Sunday falls on the 8th, or the 8th falls on a Sunday I should say, the Sunday rolls over to the Monday, so we have the Monday off tomorrow as well, so we've got a 4-day weekend. So what I've decided to do is get out on the Voge 300 rally. I'm crossing the valley and heading over to the other side to where I live, and it's a trail I've not been up before. About 16 kilometres. First kilometre was on tarmac, and 16 kilometres up, 16 kilometres back the other way. And not my favourite type of ground to ride on, being a novice off-roader. And what I mean by that is that although it's fairly flat for the main part, there are some severe washouts where the rain has rutted the track out and exposed large roots and rocks in the track. The problem you've got riding up these tracks is that most of the year, and by most of the year I mean near enough 320, 330 days a year, this track is bone dry and it's shale on top of sand. And when I mean shale, it's not just short gravel or half-inch gravel. There's some big rocks, so it ranges from about 3 inches to an inch pebble type gravel. And obviously I'm riding with the ABS off, so I've got a bit more control if the back end slides out, so I kind of feel it a bit more on the rear brake. But for my skill level, it's pushing the envelope a little bit, and I'm really at awe of Itchy Boots on some of the riding she does. You know, some of these going up is not so bad. You can use the engine braking. Coming down, you're dabbing on the front brakes. If you hit the rear brake without the ABS and traction on, you're going to lock the rear wheel up. Likewise, when you up and change down on this 300 rally, it locks up the rear wheel quite quickly. But it's really good fun if you keep your wits about you. You've got to stay on the pegs. You can ride some of it sitting down, but for me it is quite a shaly, loose, gravelly ride on mud and dirt. I mean, I've rode off-road plenty of times when I was a kid and a teenager, and on dirt and mud you've just got that slide factor, but on shale you've got the marble factor where the rear wheel steps out. So on the way up, some stunning views. I'll try and put some photos in at various places and let you take a look at what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing. So we're coming up from about maybe 300 metres above sea level to about 1100 metres within a 16 kilometre horseshoe, so we're coming up quite high. Quite a windy day today. There's a lot of wind and a lot of wind blast, and on a bike that's lighter than my DSX you do feel the wind gust from side to side. So just pulled over here, and we'll take a few photographs, and I'll get them put in some at this point somewhere. I'll intersperse them and you can see some of the shots I've taken. So yeah, overall I'm up to about only 200 kilometers on the bike in the few days I've had it, so technically still running it in, but it's a great fun bike, guys. So here we go, guys. We're at the top, or almost at the top of the mountain. You can see there's a small hike to get to the summit up there, if you like, which I'm not going to do in my motorbike boots, but I've got as near as I want to get on the bike. About 16 kilometers round in a horseshoe right from the other side of the valley over to the other side. And like I say, the shale is really bad. We'll get down on the ground and I'll show you the pebbles or the shale coming up. It's fairly compacted here, but coming up on the road it's very loose, so ranging from about 3 inches to an inch. The bike's superb, performed really well. I've dropped at about 11 millimeters on the compression on the spring, and that's helped tremendously. So what you need to do if you're going to drop it, you need to take a few components off the bike, and that'll enable you to drop the rear end down. It's not a case of getting to a tool to it fairly straightforwardly. There's a few bits you have to do. Firstly, you have to take this section of plastic off. Then you have to remove the exhaust back section completely. Under there's an airbox with an L-shaped piece that covers the spring. You need to take that out. once you remove the airbox section, you need then to remove the mudguard underneath, which will give you more access to the spring. Once you've done that, you need to get a screwdriver or a driver onto the locking nut, give that a tap to unlock it, then wind the spring by hand all the way to the end of the thread, gives you about 10 mil, then wind the locking nut up and relock that, and then reverse the process to put everything back on. It doesn't sound a lot, 10 millimeters, but it'll save you putting a lowering kit on it. And to be honest, that 10 millimeters then gives you about 25 millimeters, maybe an inch or so drop on the seat, and that allows me to totally flat foot the bike. So it's made a huge improvement, especially when you have to dab it on these shaly corners. So yeah, you can see, guys, I'm a fair way up. And a lot of these little mountains that look like little volcanoes that are below us, when you're actually down there on the roads riding, they're quite high. They loom up above you. From up here, they're just like little pimples on the landscape. And it's pretty much a straight drop down there. We'll come up here one day and get the drone and fly it around, and you can have a proper look. That mountain ridge in between, looking further down there in the middle of the screen to the left, not the ones in the middle there, this one I'm panning over to now, that one there is called the El Cuchillo, which means the knife, and it's almost like a serrated bread knife. It runs a spine along, and I've come from the back of that. You can just see the track above there on the right hand side. I've come round there, around the back of there, and up round the mountain and round. And yeah, stunning ride, guys. Really nice Sunday afternoon. Temperatures around 20, but very, very windy. I'm zooming in on the landscape across the other side of the valley. If you see in the middle of the screen now, there's a green triangle with a white house above it on the right hand side. That is where we live. As the crow flies, it's probably, I don't know, from here across, maybe only 7-8 kilometers across, obviously further riding around on a big horseshoe. So yeah, absolutely stunning, guys. So yeah, I'm really impressed with the Voge 300 Rally at the moment for this type of terrain, and riding on these trails and back roads. It's a superb little bike, and I'll do an in-depth review of the bike at a later stage. I know it's been reviewed to bits over the last couple of years, but MCN and a couple of other reviewers have really dug into it, and some of the things they've said I just don't see on this model. Now, this model's had a few updates, like a fuel gauge, etc. It may well be that they've upgraded a few things. MSN said the gearbox is agricultural. Mine's as smooth as you like. I mean, gear changing, the clutch is light, the gear changing is light, the engine note's sweet and really responsive. So yeah, all in all, very good. So give me a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Remember to ride safe, and see you later.